for. He's a living, slipping out the back door. But it's not what you're made for, and there's nothing that is too late for.
Hi everyone, I thought I'd talk today about CRPS treatments and one that I've actually had. I was offered this treatment 9 months from diagnosis. I think it was about 2017. I'd been to see the pain doctor and he offered me this new treatment. I don't think it's a new treatment, it was new to me. He explained that it would involve applying a topical patch to the painful area of my foot because that's where my CRPS is. I would have to go to the hospital to have this done by specially trained nurses. These nurses would have to wear several pairs of gloves because this patch, the Quetenza Patch, is potent. And they had to have not only special gloves, but several pairs of special gloves because this stuff liked to eat through the gloves. I remember thinking, oh my God, what the hell is this? I was told it was going to hurt, it was going to be painful, but there had been great results with complex regional pain syndrome patients. So they wanted to cause me pain to cure my pain. Didn't make sense to me at the time, but was it going to be any worse than CRPS pain? So what is the Quetenza Patch? The Quetenza Patch contains, and I'm going to get the pronunciation right, capsaicin. It's the active component that is found in chili peppers. When they apply it to the affected area, the capsaicin interacts with the pain receptors in the skin, which causes a burning and stinging pain. So it causes the pain. That desensitizes the nerves, which as a result reduces the pain signals that are being sent to the brain, which will provide relief from the chronic pain of complex regional pain syndrome over a period of time. Okay, so it is instant, but it's not instant. It can take several weeks after the treatment. Side effects are redness, itching, blisters, just like a burn, basically, as if you'd burnt yourself. You're not allowed to use it if you're allergic to chilies or if you have got high blood pressure, which I have now, so I wouldn't be able to have it now, but anyway. Or if you've had heart problems. You can take pain relief before and after having the patch. And I advise if you do have the patch, take pain relief beforehand. I did. So having taken everything into consideration, I decided to go ahead with the patch. I was in so much pain anyway that if there was a 10% chance of that getting better, I was going to do it because I was just in so much pain. Why wouldn't I? So the day arrived and my daughter took me to the hospital and I was greeted by two lovely nurses. They again warned me that this would be extremely painful, which it gone from this is going to hurt to this is going to be extremely painful. So I hopped up onto the bed. The nurse proceeded to come towards my foot with a pin and a pen. And she then proceeded to stick the pin into my foot where the pain was, because part of my foot was numb and part of my foot was extremely painful, and they needed to mark out the area where the pain was. That wasn't pleasant. As she was pricking with the pin, she was marking with the pen. I'll put some pictures up. I was worried because to me it felt like it was my toe, the ball of my foot, I suppose. That's what felt painful to me. I mean, it was so painful, it just felt like it was my whole foot. But to me, that's where the pain was. It was a lot larger area. When she actually marked it out, it was a lot larger, the area, than I thought. I was quite surprised. But anyway, they donned on their 2 pairs of these special gloves because this stuff's dangerous. You're not allowed to touch it, breathe it. Obviously, don't get it anywhere near your eyes. I was quite scared. I was quite scared, to be fair. So these two lovely nurses handled this large plaster like it was a bomb. They trimmed it up to fit the shape of my foot where they'd marked. They were very gentle when they put it on my foot, to be fair, but they could see the look on my face. They put the patch on and then they put a big thick layer of almost like wadding around it, followed by a layer of cling film. And that was it, really. They wrapped it up to ensure that the patch was, in contact with the skin. Now, I was expecting instant pain. I was so scared. But it wasn't anything like that. I mean, the pin pricking was awful. But the actual application of the patch, I'm not going to lie, it did hurt. But no more than it normally hurt. They then moved me off to a little side room. And I was there for about 45 minutes. And this was to wait for the pain to begin, basically. I felt a bit like a grenade, waiting to go bang. It was quite frightening. After about 15 minutes, I began to just feel like a slight tingle, but I was mentally preparing myself for it to get worse. And as soon as this tingle started, I thought, here we go. But it didn't. It didn't get worse. I sat for nearly an hour. So over the time that they recommended, I sat for nearly an hour. Nothing happened. And even the doctor was surprised that nothing had actually happened, that I'd had no pain or no extra pain. Nurses came in with their 2 pairs of special gloves to take the wadding and cling film, saran wrap if you're in USA, off. They removed the patch. I was warned as they were taking the patch off that once the fresh air hit my foot, that it would probably hurt more. She said that as she was taking it off. This wasn't told to me before, so it was like, well, I don't have a choice really, do I? They took the patch off anyway. It didn't really hurt, but once it was all off, it was fine. There was a small red patch about the size of a penny on my foot, and it was very painful. If I moved my foot, I could feel that the pain was coming from this particular spot. The nurse gently cleaned my foot. She put some cooling gel on, and I was left for about 10 minutes with the cooling jelly on, which was nice. She returned, she wiped that off, and I was free to go. So I was told to avoid hot baths, no hot baths, not that I did anyway, and showers, to stay out of direct sunlight, no exercising. They did actually give me some extra cooling gel. You can continue to apply the cooling gel, and you can take some paracetamol, or you can put a cool, damp cloth onto your pain. Never, ever put ice on it. I can't say that enough. Don't ever, ever put ice on CRPS. I do have another video. If you haven't watched that and you've ever thought about putting ice on it, don't. Please go and watch them. It can make things 10 times worse. The time that I had the Quetenza patch put on, I was told some people have an instant relief as soon as the patch is off. You'll have the initial burning, but then you'll get instant relief from the pain. Others, it can take up to 14 days to feel any benefit. You can repeat the patch every 90 days, 3 months. But some people report having relief for 22 weeks, which is brilliant. I mean, if you get that length of time relief from your CRPS, then it's all good, isn't it? I do remember feeling a bit sad that it hadn't actually gone to plan, because I was expecting all this pain. And in my head, I thought, it hasn't worked, because there was no pain and all the rest of it. And I just thought, this hasn't worked. Yeah, by the time I got home, it was a different story completely. Oh boy, my foot, it was burning bad, real bad. It did calm down eventually. I can't remember how long it took, but boy, did it burn. And then it was kind of a waiting game to see, once the burning had subsided, if the pain, from the complex regional pain syndrome had gone or improved even. Now, I was told by the pain clinic nurses to call back in 6 weeks to let them know what had happened, had I had any improvement, and then to decide if it was something that I would want to have again, if I needed it. I mean, it could mean that I could be pain-free for months at a time, before I had to repeat the patch. So that was promising. It was good. I have to say, at the time of the treatment, the nurses were brilliant. They were great. They were clued up with CRPS. They were understanding. They were so gentle, as gentle as they could be. And just as my trust was kind of restored in hospitals, bearing in mind what I'd been through with the hospital. If you haven't read that, there's another video of my story and how I got it. But anyway, my faith was restored a little bit after this patch treatment, and then it was lost all over again. Why? Because the nurse had given me a direct number, and she'd said to me to call back as soon as I got any pain, the CRPS pain, back in my foot, because it had worked, my pain had eased. She said, as soon as I get any inkling of any CRPS pain, I was to call in for another patch. I thought, brilliant, this is great. Now, my pain relief only lasted 7 or 8 weeks, and then I felt the familiar pain coming back. I was devastated, but I did as she said. I found the number and I called. It was back with a vengeance, and I explained to the nurse on the phone what I was told, how I had to call straight away if any pain came back. And she said, no, there's at least a 3-month waiting list. So I explained again. She repeated herself again. I was so angry, I can't tell you. I was so angry, why I'd been told this. If I'd have known this, I could have booked it when I left the hospital. Now I'm going to be in pain before I can have anything done. And, I know people will say, well, yeah, but you'll be in pain for the next 3 months and then you'll be pain-free. I couldn't be on that yo-yo. I just couldn't. So I never went back. And I will add that they have never contacted me either, the pain clinic. Take that for what it is. I mean, yeah, I don't have any faith, doctors, hospitals, or anything. But the point of this video was that there is a treatment called the Quetenza Patch, derived from chili peppers, that you can have if you've got CRPS or other types of chronic pain like diabetic pain, neuropathy pain, nerve pain. They will be able to use this patch, and it does work. Just make sure that if you have it done, that it's going to be short term, and book in even if you're not in pain. Just book it anyway. If there's a waiting list, at least you're going to get back to have it done. As for me, I was pleased it worked. It's trial and error with a lot of these things. I was pleased it worked, but I won't have it done again. But that's personal preference. Don't let that put you off. I mean, it is a good treatment. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say today, really. There are other treatments, and I will do videos on the other treatments. But if you've ever had the Quetenza Patch, let me know. Leave a comment. Let me know, and let me know if it worked for you. If you've a story to tell, please email that to me. If you found this useful, hit the subscribe button for me and give me a thumbs up, because that will help me greatly and it will enable me to carry on making videos. So thank you. Bye.
The guy it's made for, he's a living slipping out the back door. But it's not what you're made for, and there's nothing that is too late for.